Hey brother! Guys, one of the longest standing, unsatisfactorily explained things in all of Harry Potter is the arrival of Fawkes in the Chamber of Secrets. Which might not be that big of a deal, except it's kind of a huge plot point. Fawkes not only blinds the basilisk, but he also brings Harry the sorting hat and the sword, heals Harry's wounds from the basilisk, and is able to carry out him, Ron, Ginny, and Lockhart from the chamber. I mean, seriously, it might be the most outrageously convenient thing that happens in the entire series, except for the Weasleys winning the Daily Prophet draw that ends up sending them to Egypt, which is in the newspaper that Fudge then gives to Sirius so that he can finish the crossword puzzle, which causes him to see Peter Pettigrew and break out of Prisoner of Azkaban and then set the entire thing in motion. But anyway, the only real explanation we get for it is what Dumbledore tells Harry. You must have shown me real loyalty down in the chamber. Nothing but that could have called Fawkes to you. Which, like, okay. What does that mean? Harry was loyal to Dumbledore and then that suddenly summons Fawkes to his aid? Is that how it works? Can we get more of an explanation than that? And are there like specific life-threatening circumstances that have to be in play in order for this to work? Like, how come Fawkes doesn't just burst onto the scene when Harry's talking to Scrimgeour and says that he's Dumbledore's man through and through? Sure, it wouldn't have been useful at all, but Harry is showing Dumbledore like the maximum amount of loyalty that he can possibly show him. I'm Dumbledore's man through and through. Whoa, what are you doing here? Well, great news, guys, because I think we have finally gotten to the bottom of this one. Guys, before we dive on in, I want to give a huge thanks to Stefan Heulerman. I'm going to put it on screen because I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, from Switzerland. Stefan submitted this idea to us, and honestly, my mind was blown. The explanation is so simple and perfect, I can't believe we never thought of it ourselves, so thank you, Stefan. People have been attempting to explain this phenomenon for a long time. Like, why does Fawkes ultimately show up in the Chamber of Secrets? Because the existing explanation is kind of flimsy. It would be one thing if at any other moment in the story at all, Harry somehow summoned a magically convenient creature to his aid when he showed loyalty to someone. But no, it's just this one time Harry gets out of a tremendous jam, and that's the end of it. Could it have been that Dumbledore was a distant descendant of Godric Gryffindor and Fawkes once upon a time belonged to him? After all, phoenixes can live forever, and the other two things he delivers to Harry are the other two known relics of Godric Gryffindor, the Sorting Hat and the Sword of Gryffindor. Maybe in this moment, it's that Harry is really acting like a true Gryffindor, and because Dumbledore is the heir of Gryffindor and he's fighting the heir of Slytherin, it kind of makes sense, but then wouldn't the symbol of Gryffindor House be a phoenix instead of a lion? Okay, but how about this? Harry is a descendant of Gryffindor. No, but then why does it matter that he showed Dumbledore loyalty? So those explanations didn't add up, and then Crimes of Grindelwald shows up and gives us a brand new bit of information about the relationship between Dumbledores and phoenixes.
There's a story in my family that a phoenix will come to any Dumbledore in desperate need. They say my great-grandfather had one. I'm
not gonna lie, this one had me excited for like a second. Did that mean that Harry is actually a Dumbledore? He certainly did summon a phoenix in a time of need, and him and Dumbledore are both from Godric's Hollow. More like Holla. That does seem to fit. Except we know Harry's lineage and he's not a Dumbledore, so it's just factually inaccurate. Harry is actually descended from the third Peverell brother, and Dumbledore isn't actually from Godric's Hollow at all. He was originally from Mold on the Wold? Mold on the Wold. Why would anyone live there? And is it supposed to sound like mold on the wall? Why is there a D? Does that make it better? I think it does. I don't know. Anyway, fun trivia aside, point is, he's not a Dumbledore. But so as semi-plausible as any of those ideas might have been, it turns out the answer might have literally been sitting right in front of us starting in chapter 1 of the Philosopher's Stone. It might even be the first thing that we ever know Dumbledore to do at all. Let me set the scene. Dumbledore arrives on Privet Drive and douses the lights with the Deluminator. The Deluminator! It's a kind of magic that really doesn't seem all of that impressive, and yet throughout the entire book series, we never see somebody magically turn off the lights. Other than, of course, Nox, which is, of course, a spell to turn off Lumos, not turn off all lights. Even when Draco is smuggling the Death Eaters into Hogwarts, he doesn't use a spell. He uses Peruvian Instant Darkness Powder. But it turns out this is not its only trick, which we learn in Deathly Hallows after Dumbledore bequeaths the Illuminator to Ron, who, no matter how politely Harry phrases it, knew that Ron was probably going to abandon them. No, he knew he was always going to want to come back. And that's what we call spin, people. Spin. Fortunately, though, we do learn that the Illuminator offers Ron a way back to the Golden Trio in a rather unique way. After weeks of not mentioning his name at all, Harry and Hermione. I don't even know I can say that again. Harry and Hermione finally let it slip, and all at once Ron is able to hear their conversation through the Illuminator. He then clicks it, a blue orb comes out, kind of goes into his chest right next to his heart, and he's able to just disapparate without knowing where he's going and ends up with Harry and Hermione. Or basically as close as he could get because they had all of the protections up. So he was in exactly the right spot, he just couldn't see them. Once more, it might kind of feel like this is a super random and convenient way for him to get back to the other two, but I think the actual explanation to it lies on the gravestone of Dumbledore's mother and sister. It reads, "Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." Ron treasures his friendship with Harry and Hermione above all else, so even when he isn't physically with them, his heart is. And I think that's represented by that blue orb that enters into Ron's body right next to his heart. All of that to say that I think that this exact same phenomenon is what is coming to Harry's aid in the Chamber of Secrets. Again, Ron is prompted to the exact location of Harry and Hermione when they finally say his name out loud. So let's go back to the exchange that's happening in the Chamber of Secrets moments before Fawkes arrives. Sorry to disappoint you and all that, but the greatest wizard in the world is Albus Dumbledore. Everyone says so. Even when you were strong, you didn't dare to try and take over Hogwarts. Dumbledore saw through you when you were at school, and he still frightens you now, wherever you're hiding these days. That is the moment right there. Harry says Dumbledore's full name, and just moments later, Fawkes flies into action. The moment that Harry says Dumbledore's name, the Illuminator would start talking and be able to produce the blue orb that gives the exact coordinates to his location. And that's important because what is the other key thing that we haven't talked about with the location of the Chamber of Secrets? No one knows where it is. This is how the orb takes you to the exact location. But why wouldn't Dumbledore himself just arrive on scene then? Why send Fawkes? And great question. The answer to which is that the blue orb allows you to have the coordinates to that exact location, but you still have to be able to apparate there, which you can't do inside of Hogwarts. But as we also all know, Fawkes has the unique ability to flash fire himself all around the grounds of Hogwarts. But wait, you might be wondering, doesn't Dumbledore use literally that exact trick to escape in order by just flash firing off the scene with Fawkes? Couldn't Fawkes have just brought Dumbledore with him? Well, maybe, but I don't actually think that Dumbledore was with Fawkes or even sent Fawkes himself at all. Going back to that original line, Dumbledore says, "You must have shown me real loyalty down in the chamber. Nothing but that could have called Fawkes to you." Which to me sounds like he did not know that that's how it happened. So then the question becomes, if Dumbledore did not send him, how did Fawkes know to go and rescue Harry? We know that Dumbledore was taken away from the school per the order by the governor. So it's just as simple as this. Fawkes and the Illuminator were just both still inside of Dumbledore's office. But Dumbledore wasn't, because of course by that point, he'd already been suspended. Remember, Dumbledore is escorted from the school, from Hagrid's hut, in the middle of the night, so it's unlikely he would just have the Illuminator on him. And we know that he keeps all of his little silver spinning instruments on the table inside of his office, and despite how the Illuminator looks in the movies, it is originally described as silver. So Harry says the name, Fawkes in Dumbledore's office hears it, clicks the Deluminator, flash fires down to the Chamber of Secrets, grabbing the Sorting Hat on his way. And the reason he doesn't go and get Dumbledore first is because based on what he's hearing from the Deluminator itself is that Harry is about to fight Voldemort and there is no time to waste. Which again brings us back to the quote from Kendra and Ariana's gravestone. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. It feels like there's a better way to literally rearrange those exact words to make it make more sense. The point is, by the end of year 2, Dumbledore literally treasures Harry above all else. And that's not just my opinion, he literally says it. I cared about you too much. I cared more for your happiness than knowing the truth, more for your peace of mind than my plan, more for your life than the lives that might be lost if the plan failed. In other words, I acted exactly as Voldemort expect we fools who love to act. He literally references the plan. He literally says it himself. That is how Dumbledore feels, and Harry reciprocates perfectly when he says that Dumbledore is the greatest wizard alive.
Albus Dumbledore is the greatest sorcerer in the world.
Thus activating the Deluminator and summoning Fawkes. Boom. Guys, I absolutely love it, and it makes for a really cool and interesting bit of Harry Potter trivia. Hey guys, don't forget that once again this week we are going to be doing a live stream here on the Super Carlin Brothers channel to continue discussing Dumbledore's big plan. The stream is scheduled for Friday, May 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you guys then. Guys, for my question of the day, what do you think? Is this the explanation that we've always wanted? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the towel section down below. And guys, as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already and subscribe so you don't miss any future Harry Potter action from us. If you'd like to see exactly how the Deluminator works, we have an entire video right up here. But otherwise, guys, until next time, bye!